My name is Garrett Sims, and once again, we have a very exciting episode of Sports Time Out for you. This week, we sat down for our second time with boys basketball head coach Will Fox. I can't thank him enough for his time. It was great getting to talk about, his second season, what he's kind of getting into, and get into everything else with that. So, with all that being said, let's get into the episode right now. My name is Garrett Sims. We have another special guest because it's Will Fox, head coach of the OHS basketball team. He also helps out with football and baseball, but thank you for joining me again.
Absolutely, Garrett. I'm glad to do this.
Well, it's very exciting because you're kind of into year two, and I know we had a game last night, but I just kind of wanted to ask you, going into this season, what just has you so excited?
We got a lot of guys that is just enjoyable to coach. We got a lot of guys that are coachable, they're respectful young men, and that's why I wanted to come back to Odessa, because that's what this community is all about. It's just respecting one another and playing the game the right way, whether it's football or basketball or whatever. But that's what I enjoy the most.
And you return three seniors in Carter Kleppel, Amari Powell, and if I'm right, Cole Chapman.
Yep.
All three of them, what have they done for you to just make this year easier?
A lot. Last year, first year as head coach, so it's a different change of a program, different change of culture. But these three guys, they've stepped up to the plate. They have led extremely well. Our practices are way more intense. We're getting a lot more done, and it all starts with them because it trickles down to the juniors and the sophomores, and then the freshmen that we have playing varsity. And they do a great job of bringing energy every day, and I can't thank them enough. And they'll be great trailblazers for this program, and I'm happy to have them.
And what's kind of I want to ask you, what's the motto for this season, and how have they helped you, and how have they got excited about that?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Coach Thomas. I'm gonna stick to my guns. It's we over me. It probably will be for a long time. I just think it's a great motto, putting yourself before the team. We do a great job of loving each other, and I think that's where a good culture starts, is the love and respect you have for your teammates, your coaches, your community. And I think that's going to be the motto for a while, because I think that just exemplifies of what we need to do as a program.
And how do you kind of build the relationships with some of these players, and what are some of the special ones to you?
Actually, all of them so far have been pretty special, because you look at our varsity roster. I coached Carter Kleppel when he was in third grade. I coached Cole Chapman when he was in third grade. I coached all those juniors in football and basketball when they're in about second, third grade. The only guy I really haven't coached is Amari Powell, and me and him have a great relationship. I'll miss that guy so much next year. But all these guys, knowing them my whole life, and their parents and their families, it's kind of just a full circle moment, and all the relationships I have with these dudes are just incredible, and I think that's why we get along so well. I'm a young guy, so we can connect on some things. So it's been a blast so far, and the relationships are awesome.
And I kind of want to ask you, last year, what were some of the experiences that you really had to learn from, and especially going into this year?
Yeah, last year I would say we were still just a little bit unexperienced. We had those heavy sophomores. That was their only second year playing varsity. True varsity minutes. That when they were freshmen, they only played a couple minutes here and there. But last year, I fed them to the Wolves, and they played a lot, and they did well. And that's why we're looking to have a great year this year. And then you look at Carter and Amari, and that last year was their first year playing varsity basketball as juniors. And I thought they did an awesome job as well for playing varsity for the first time. And once again, another year under their belt, and I think we're ready to roll this year. With now, there's no more question of inexperienced team, young team. We've seen it. We've been battle tested, so we're ready to roll.
And what do you think the ultimate goal is kind of for this year? What do you think this team can achieve?
The ultimate goal, we actually talked about today, is a district championship. I think we have the horses to do it. I think we got a scheme to do it. We got a lot of guys, well, like I said, with some experience. We got some younger freshmen who bring a lot of skill to our team, and their time's going to come. But that's the ultimate goal, is a district championship. We don't have to run through center anymore for that, and I think it's wide open for us. And there's a year to do it. It's this year for sure.
And, kind of ask you a little bit more, if to achieve that goal, what's it going to take? What's this team going to have to do?
Yeah. So we go 3 letters. We go G.V.B. That's guard value board. And those are 3 things we struggled with last year. We struggled with keeping the ball in front. We struggled with taking care of the basketball. We struggled with rebounding the basketball. And it showed a little bit last night. We did a nice job majority of the game, but there in the fourth quarter we kind of got away from those 3 things, and that's what cost us games. And I tell them every single day, and they're probably sick of me hearing it, but every single time we're in a close game and we lose a close game, we look back at those three stats: is can we guard the basketball, can we take care of the basketball, can we rebound the basketball. And those are the 3 big things that we work on in practice all the time, and we just need to get it translated to the game.
Yes, sir, Will. And kind of ask you a little bit more, what is the scheme of this basketball team? What do you kind of want to do on a night in and night out basis?
We're not very big. Our scheme is kind of get in the paint, look to score, and then look to shoot the 3 ball. Our team is filled with shooters. Last night we shot 9 of 28 from the 3, which is probably expected, and those nights are going to happen. And like I tell the guys, I told them today at practice, I'll never pull you out for shooting. I'll never sub you out. Like I told Cole Westerhold today, he had 0 attempts last night. And I looked at Cole, I'm like, you are way too good of an athlete to not shoot the ball at all. I'm like, let it fly. Whether it's in the post or it's at 3-point line, let it fly. Okay, because it's a better chance of us making a shot than turning it over. And that's kind of our scheme. Me and the coaching staff have done a nice job of creating sets for our guys to get in spots that they're comfortable with, that fit their skill set. Braden Cantner really came alive last night. Look for him to have a big year. He's filled out quite well, so like hopefully when we start playing teams in conference and we can post him up a little bit, get him inside. Once we get Trey back, it'll probably run through him most of the time. But our scheme is get the ball to the guy where he wants it, and we'll play from there. So.
And I kind of want to ask you a little bit more about these athletes because, you talk about Amari and stuff, but then you got Jackson Whitaker and you got Tristan James, who I was really impressed with his athleticism, and not only that, but his effort last night.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted to ask you on a night in and night out basis, how confident are you in these boys, on the scheme that you're trying to implement?
Yeah, and that's the thing as being a coach, you got to trust your players. And I trust every single one of them. Tristan does a nice job of getting us into stuff. He's our floor general. He's our point guard. He might not be the biggest, but he's the toughest dude out there. And he does a great job of talking to the guys, getting them where they need to be, where they need to be, what spot they need to be in, the time on the clock. That type of stuff he's really good at. Carter and Braden are kind of our wing players. They shoot the ball, they can drive it. And then you got Cole and Amari. We consider them our big guys. They're the ones setting screens, doing the dirty work, getting rebounds, stuff like that. And then you have Jackson Whitaker, who is probably the most athletic kid in the conference. Might be in the state. Can jump out of the gym, can fly. We just need to get him to the rim more. And we don't even have Trey Sanders back. And we all know Trey. I mean, he was an all-district, all-conference player last year. Hopefully we'll have him back next week. But once we get him, we'll have about 8-9-man rotation that we'll get going. That's not even including Isaiah Hanks, who's out right now with an injury. He's up there with the athletes. He can guard the ball like no other. And then I have 3 freshmen who I really like. DeAndre Bandy, he's about 6'3". He'll be really solid for us in the upcoming years. And then Cooper Pugh and Jaden Saxon, those are more guard likes, but they have great skill for freshmen, and then they're going to help us out down the road this year.
And I want to ask you a little bit about your coaching staff because there's some new faces in there, including Coach Saxon. I just kind of want to ask, how do these guys help you, and what do they kind of bring to the table this year?
Yeah, I'll start with Coach Crowley. He's our JV coach. He's my head assistant for varsity, head JV coach. He actually coached my brother Clay back in 2022, so I kind of knew him before I took the job, and he does a great job with those JV guys. He does a great job with helping me out with varsity. He brings a lot of energy. He does a great job. He's always talking to the kids, always motivating the kids, and that's where it kind of starts. You gotta have a good coaching staff to kind of get that going. Ron DeLashmet, he came over from football. He's another guy that just brings energy. More of the defensive sided type of the game. He's a football guy more than a basketball guy, but he's all for getting a little chippy, getting a little physical down the paint and stuff like that. So I'm glad to have him. He brings a lot of energy on the bench, and that's always good to have. And then Coach Saxon, he's been a great addition to our staff. He's played overseas, played at the college level. He specializes in our post play, and that's really important for us to get some of those guys more skill, and then especially for our young guys, so they know the system, how it works, stuff like that, footwork. He does a great job with those guys, and I feel like this year we have a really great staff, and we have the kids that are willing to learn from us, and that's what makes this group special.
And to ask you a little bit, how not only goodness, I'm even struggling myself here, Will, but I was just going to ask you a little bit about how do you lead this team in a sense, like how do you set the example for these boys night in and night out, and just kind of with everything going on, man?
Yeah, I would say last year I kind of made a little butthole a little bit. It's my first year. I wanted to set the standard. I had to really get after some dudes, and like Braden Cantner, for example, love the dude, but last year I would have to get in him sometimes because he's a great player. He really is. But some nights he would go out there and just not shoot the ball. I'm like, what are you doing? Get out there and let's go. Let's play. And then he went off and had like 2 back-to-back games with 20-plus points. And that's why, and I showed him, like, see what you can do. But this year, I'm kind of more mellow. The guys, they understand what I want done. They understand how the program operates, how we're going to practice, how we're going to play, how we're going to prepare for stuff. And they just seem more bought in this year. They trust me. They trust the coaching staff. They trust each other, and that's what makes a great team good, And that's why it's going to be a special year. Is because these dudes have actually bought in, and they've done a great job so far.
And talking about the year, and what are some favorite moments that you're maybe looking forward to? I know with a lot of the conference opponents in Oak Grove and stuff like that, what games are going to stand out to you the most?
I would say anytime we play Oak Grove. I mean, you look at last year, we won by 3 the first game, and we were down 17-2 in the first quarter, and then we lost a heartbreaker there in the district quarterfinals on a buzzer beater. But us... we're pretty evenly matched. It'll always be a great game. The atmosphere is always great for that game. Hopefully we play them 3 times this year. We'll play them next Monday in the Higginsville tournament, and we'll play them regular season. And I think it's going to be, hopefully it's us and them in the district championship. But them, let's see. I would say really any conference game. Our conference is really leveled out. Center's been the juggernaut the past couple of years, but this year I think the conference is pretty leveled out, and anytime conference team we play, it's going to be a great game, and those are games we need to win. And then the district games we play every district opponent in regular season. That's Marshall, Knob Noster, Oak Grove. Who else you got? Oh my goodness, Excelsior Springs, and then Richmond. So those 5 games are really important for us, and for district seeding number 1, but to get a feel for how we're going to play against them in the district tournament.
And even that, I throw at you, that's such a huge thing because you even remember in baseball, getting to play teams like that. And even if you lose or win, you got a little bit of motivation going into that next one.
Right.
And so, I just kind of say I'm excited for Oak Grove the most. I think it's going to be such a good game. And I just wanted to say, was there any immediate lessons after that district loss? Anything that kind of hit you that you learned right away, or anything that you're carrying into this season?
I would say that what hit me the most is just being back in Odessa, honestly. Everyone, I think, shed a tear. We were all emotional because we came so far last year. I mean, we took our lumps, took our bruises, but there, at the end, we won 5 of our last 7 games and then lose on a heartbreaker to your rival. I mean, you could tell those kids' mindset changed for the love of basketball. You know, it was just something they played because their friends played or whatever. But these guys, they care about it now. And that was my ultimate goal when I took this job, is to have a purpose for basketball here in Odessa. It's just not another sport. It's a sport people care about. People want to come and watch. People want to play. And that's what I really took away from last year in that locker room after we lost to Oak Grove last year, is we might have something going on here that hasn't been around in a while.
Oh, and I totally agree with you. I think it's going to be awesome to see how this season plays out and everything. But what does it mean to have a community, that, is around you and supports you? And hopefully we can get more people out to these games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you even look at last night. I mean, Tuesday on a snow day. I mean, that place was pretty full. And it was a great atmosphere for the first game of the year. I hope it continues throughout the year. We finally actually have some home games this year. But this community, it's none other, man. I mean, you know how it is. Like, people know everybody knows everybody, and they're going to support you no matter what, win or loss. They're going to support you, and that's what makes this place special, is the togetherness, the community. It's great.
Well, I'll open it up if there's anything else you got to say.
That's about it, man. That's all I got.
Well, I always appreciate you stopping in, and I can't thank you enough for having the time to meet with me, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric.
This has been our guest interview with head coach Will Fox. We want to thank you guys so very much for listening to this episode of Sports Timeout. I know Coach Fox appreciates it. I appreciate it. It's just so awesome to have him and be able to talk to a friend, a former teammate like that. So thank you again, head coach Will Fox. Make sure you're picking up your copy of the Odessan to get all the other sports information we're not mentioning on the podcast. Winter sports are starting. It's important to keep up with those. We got Odessa basketball. They started on Tuesday. They got Wellington starting tonight. We got all types of action starting, and you don't want to miss that. So make sure you're picking up your copy of the Odessan. With all that being said, we can't thank you guys enough, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll start getting some exciting guests on here, and with that, I'll see you next week.